Life is a battlefield, both within and around us. In every challenge, every doubt, and every moment of fear, there is a presence that stands with us as force, as steadfast as a mighty warrior. This presence is not separate from us, it resides within, guiding us with wisdom, courage, and unwavering strength. Today we explore the profound truth that the Lord is with you like a mighty warrior. It is a truth that transforms fear into bravery, chaos into stillness, and struggle into triumph. Let us embark on a journey to discover how this divine power equips us to face life's battles, not with aggression, but with love, purpose, and unshakable faith. The idea of the warrior within transcends the conventional image of battle and combat. It is not about physical prowess or the ability to dominate others, but about the profound strength that comes from within, rooted in the presence of the divine. This warrior is not a separate entity, it is the divine force that resides in each of us, guiding us through the challenges and complexities of life. When we face adversity, whether it is external conflict or internal turmoil, this inner warrior rises to meet the moment with a strength that is both unyielding and compassionate. The warrior within is deeply connected to the divine presence, which serves as a wellspring of courage and resilience. It reminds us that we are never truly alone in our struggles. Even when the world feels chaotic and unpredictable, this mighty presence stands with us, unshaken and unwavering. The battles we face are not ours alone to bear, they are shared with the one who empowers us to endure, overcome, and grow stronger. This awareness is transformative. It shifts our perspective, allowing us to face life's challenges with a sense of peace and confidence that comes from knowing we are supported by a force far greater than ourselves. This divine warrior does not fight with weapons of destruction, but with tools of creation, faith, love, and truth. These are the elements that shape our responses to conflict and hardship. They remind us that true strength is not found in overpowering others, but in remaining steadfast in our values, even in the face of opposition. The warrior within does not seek to conquer, but to restore, heal, and bring balance. It is a force that moves through us, aligning our actions with a higher purpose and guiding us toward a deeper understanding of ourselves and the world around us. In moments of self-doubt and fear, the warrior within reminds us of our inherent worth and capability. It whispers to us in the silence, urging us to rise above our limitations and trust in the power of the divine to carry us through. Fear often seeks to paralyze us, to make us believe that we are weak or incapable. But the warrior within counters this with a quiet but firm assurance we are stronger than we know, and we are never alone. This inner strength is not loud or boastful, it is calm, steady, and unyielding, like the roots of a great tree that remain firmly anchored even in the fiercest storm. The battles we face are not always visible. Often they are internal struggles, battles with our own doubts, insecurities, and fears. These are the moments when the warrior within becomes most evident. It is in these quiet, unseen conflicts that the divine presence works within us, helping us to confront our weaknesses, embrace our vulnerabilities, and emerge stronger and more compassionate. The process is not easy, nor is it quick. Growth requires patience, perseverance, and a willingness to face the difficult truths within ourselves. But the presence of the divine warrior assures us that every struggle has a purpose, and that we are never abandoned in our journey. The warrior within also teaches us about surrender, not as an act of defeat, but as an act of trust. Surrendering to the divine presence means letting go of our need to control every aspect of our lives and instead trusting in a greater plan. It is an acknowledgement that while we may not have all the answers, we are guided by a force that knows the path forward, even when it is unclear to us. This surrender is not passive. It is an active choice to align ourselves with the divine, to trust in its wisdom and strength, and to move forward with courage and faith. Ultimately, the warrior within is a reflection of the divine power that stands with us as a mighty warrior. It is a reminder that we are not defined by our circumstances, but by our response to them. It calls us to rise above fear and doubt, to face life's challenges with resilience and grace, and to trust in the strength that comes from the presence of the Lord. This inner warrior is a gift, a constant companion, and a source of infinite strength. It is through this connection to the divine that we find the courage to walk boldly through life, knowing that we are never truly alone. Strength in stillness is one of life's profound paradoxes. In a world that often equates strength with action, noise, and relentless motion, the idea that stillness can be a source of immense power challenges our understanding of what it means to be strong. Yet it is in moments of quiet that we often discover the truest and most enduring strength, the kind that comes not from external displays of power, but from an inner connection to something greater than ourselves. This strength is not fleeting or circumstantial, it is enduring, rooted in the divine presence that dwells within and around us. In stillness we find clarity. Life's demands and distractions can pull us in countless directions, leaving us fragmented and overwhelmed. The constant activity of the mind, the relentless drive to do and achieve, can make it difficult to see clearly or hear the deeper truths that guide us. Stillness provides a space to step back from the chaos, to pause and listen. It is in this quiet space that the voice of the divine becomes most audible, offering wisdom, guidance, and reassurance. In stillness we are reminded of what truly matters, and this clarity becomes a wellspring of strength that carries us through even the most turbulent times. The power of stillness lies not in absence, but in presence. To be still is not to retreat or withdraw, but to be fully present in the moment, grounded and aware. It is a state of active receptivity, where we allow ourselves to connect with the divine source of strength that flows through all things. This connection is not something we can force or manufacture, it is something we allow. In stillness we cease striving and simply allow ourselves to be, trusting that the divine presence will meet us there. This trust, this surrender to the present moment, is itself an act of strength. Stillness also reveals the resilience within us. In moments of stillness we confront ourselves, the thoughts, emotions, and fears that we often push aside in the busyness of life. This confrontation can be uncomfortable, even unsettling, but it is also where healing and growth begin. The strength to sit with our discomfort, to face our vulnerabilities without turning away, is a testament to the power of stillness. It is through this process of facing ourselves that we emerge stronger, more self-aware, and more aligned with the divine purpose that underpins our lives. The strength found in stillness is deeply tied to faith. In stillness we let go of the illusion of control and place our trust in the divine. It is an act of humility, an acknowledgement that we cannot do everything on our own and that we do not have to. This act of surrender is not a sign of weakness but of profound strength, for it requires courage to release our grip on the things we cannot change and to trust in a greater plan. In this trust we find peace, a peace that strengthens us in ways that action and striving never could. The idea of stillness as strength is also reflected in nature. Consider the roots of a tree. While the branches sway and bend in the wind, the roots remain still, anchored deep in the earth. It is this stillness that gives the tree its strength, allowing it to withstand the storm. Similarly, the stillness of a calm lake reflects the sky with perfect clarity, unshaken by the ripples of the surface. In both examples, it is the stillness that provides stability, clarity, and endurance, qualities that are mirrored in our own lives when we embrace stillness as a source of strength. In a world that often values noise over silence and speed over stillness, choosing stillness can feel countercultural. Yet it is precisely in this choice that we reclaim our strength. By stepping away from the constant rush, we allow ourselves to reconnect with the divine presence that sustains us. This presence reminds us that we are not defined by our productivity or achievements, but by the depth of our connection to the sacred. It is in this connection that true strength resides, a strength that is quiet but unshakable, humble but profound. Ultimately, strength in stillness is about alignment. It is about aligning ourselves with the rhythms of the divine, which often call us to pause, to listen, and to trust. It is about recognizing that our greatest strength does not come from what we do, but from who we are and the source from which we draw our being. In stillness we come home to ourselves and to the divine presence that empowers us. And from this place of stillness we are able to move through life with a strength that is steady, enduring, and rooted in faith. Courage is often misunderstood as the absence of fear, but in truth, courage exists because of fear. It is not about being unshaken by the challenges we face, but about choosing to move forward despite them. Fear is a natural response to the unknown, to danger, and to uncertainty. It signals to us that something is at stake, that something matters. But courage rises when we decide that the values, dreams, and truths we hold dear are more significant than the fears that threaten to paralyze us. It is in this dynamic tension between fear and faith that courage is born. Fear, left unchecked, can be overwhelming. It can cloud our judgment, immobilize our actions, and erode our confidence. Yet fear is not our enemy. It is a teacher pointing us toward areas of growth, calling us to confront what lies beyond our comfort zone. Courage is the response to that call, not in reckless defiance of fear, but in a conscious decision to face it. It is a quiet voice that whispers, "You may not know the outcome, but take the step anyway." In this way, courage transforms fear from an obstacle into an opportunity for growth. Courage beyond fear is deeply connected to trust. Trust in ourselves, trust in others, and most importantly, trust in the divine presence that walks with us. When we recognize that we are not alone in our struggles, fear begins to lose its grip. The knowledge that the Lord is with us, like a mighty warrior, instills a strength that is not of our own making. It reassures us that we are upheld by a power greater than any force that seeks to bring us down. This trust becomes the foundation upon which courage is built, allowing us to face even the most daunting challenges with confidence. It is important to acknowledge that courage is not always loud or dramatic. Sometimes courage is quiet and unassuming. It is found in the decision to get up and try again after failure, in the willingness to speak the truth when it is easier to stay silent, and in the resolve to take one small step forward when the journey ahead feels insurmountable. These acts of courage may go unnoticed by others, but they are no less significant. They are victories over fear, and each one strengthens us for the battles yet to come. Courage beyond fear also requires vulnerability. To be courageous is to open ourselves to risk, to the possibility of failure, rejection, or pain. But vulnerability is not weakness, it is the birthplace of strength. It is in acknowledging our fears and embracing our humanity that we find the resilience to keep going. The divine presence within us does not demand perfection or the absence of fear. Instead, it invites us to bring our fears into the light, to lay them at the feet of the one who walks with us, and to take the next step in faith. The journey of courage is rarely straightforward. There are moments of doubt, setbacks, and times when fear seems to gain the upper hand. But even in these moments, courage endures. It is a process, a practice, and a choice we make again and again. Each time we choose courage over fear, we grow stronger, not because the challenges become easier, but because we become more deeply rooted in the strength that comes from the divine. This strength does not promise an absence of struggle, but it does promise that we will not face those struggles alone. In courage, there is a quiet power that transcends fear. It is a power that comes from knowing that our worth is not determined by our successes or failures, but by our identity as children of the divine. This understanding frees us to act with boldness and conviction, not because we are fearless, but because we trust in the presence of the mighty warrior who fights alongside us. Courage is not the elimination of fear, but the realization that fear does not have the final word. Ultimately, courage beyond fear is an act of faith. It is a declaration that the values we stand for, the dreams we pursue, and the truths we uphold are worth the risk. It is a testament to the power of the divine presence within us, calling us to rise above our limitations and to step into the fullness of who we are created to be. Fear may always be a part of the journey, but it does not define us. Courage is the choice to keep going, to keep believing, and to keep trusting in the one who walks with us, guiding us through every step of the way. Trust is one of the most powerful and transformative forces we can cultivate. It is an act of surrender and strength, a bridge between what we know and what lies beyond our understanding. When we trust, we step into the unknown with confidence, not because the path is without uncertainty, but because we are certain of the presence of the divine guiding us through it. This trust becomes our armor, a protective and empowering force that shields us from fear, doubt, and despair. It allows us to face life's challenges with a calm assurance that we are not alone and that every struggle has a purpose. Trust is not blind or naive. It is a choice, a deliberate act of faith in something greater than ourselves. This act begins with a recognition of our own limitations, As much as we may strive to control every aspect of our lives, there are forces and circumstances far beyond our reach. Trust invites us to release the illusion of control and to rest in the knowledge that there is a plan, a wisdom, and a power at work that transcends our understanding. This release is not a sign of weakness, but a profound strength, for it takes courage to relinquish our grip and place our confidence in the unseen. The armor of trust protects us from the arrows of doubt and fear. In moments of uncertainty, it is easy to be overwhelmed by questions: what if I fail? What if I am not enough? What if things do not work out? These questions can paralyze us, keeping us from moving forward. But trust acts as a shield, deflecting these doubts with the assurance that we are held by a power greater than any obstacle we face. It reminds us that we do not have to have all the answers, for the one who walks with us sees the path ahead clearly, even when we do not. Trust also equips us to face adversity with resilience. Life's challenges are inevitable, and there will be moments when we feel vulnerable and exposed. The armor of trust does not prevent these challenges from arising, but it does provide the strength to endure them. It reassures that even in our darkest moments we are not abandoned. The divine presence is with us like a mighty warrior, fighting on our behalf and working all things for our good. This knowledge gives us the courage to persevere, to stand firm, and to keep moving forward even when the way is difficult. The power of trust lies in its ability to transform our perspective. When we trust in the divine, we begin to see challenges not as threats but as opportunities for growth. We understand that every trial, no matter how painful, is an invitation to deepen our faith and to strengthen our connection to the one who sustains us. Trust shifts our focus from what we cannot control to what we can, our response, our attitude, and our willingness to keep believing. It empowers us to approach life with a sense of hope and expectation, knowing that even in the midst of uncertainty, there is purpose and meaning. Trust is not a passive state, it is an active engagement with life. It requires us to take steps forward even when the outcome is unclear. The armor of trust does not mean we will never face fear or doubt, it means we will not be defeated by them. It allows us to act with confidence, knowing that our worth is not determined by our successes or failures, but by our identity as beloved children of the divine. This understanding frees us to take risks, to pursue our dreams, and to embrace the journey, trusting that we are being guided every step of the way. At its core, the armor of trust is rooted in love. It is a reflection of the deep and abiding relationship between us and the divine. This relationship is not based on our performance or perfection, but on the unwavering love and faithfulness of the one who created us. When we trust in this love, we are strengthened in ways that surpass human understanding. We are able to face life's uncertainties with a peace that cannot be shaken and a confidence that cannot be diminished. The armor of trust is both a shield and a source of power. It protects us from the fears that seek to hold us back and empowers us to move forward with courage and conviction. It reminds us that we are not alone, that we are held by a presence greater than ourselves, and that every step we take is guided by divine wisdom. To wear this armor is to live with the assurance that we are loved, supported, and strengthened in all that we do. It is an invitation to embrace life fully, to trust deeply, and to walk boldly into the future, knowing that we are never abandoned. The battle of self is one of the most profound and enduring struggles we face in life. It is not a battle waged against external enemies, but one that takes place within the depths of our hearts and minds. This is the battle between who we are and who we are called to be, between our fears and our faith, between our weaknesses and our potential. It is a fight to align our lives with the truth of who we were created to be, and to overcome the forces within us that seek to hold us back. In this battle, the presence of the divine is our greatest ally, offering strength, guidance, and grace. At the core of the battle of self lies the tension between our higher and lower natures. Our higher nature calls us toward love, compassion, courage, and purpose, while our lower nature often succumbs to fear, selfishness, doubt, and pride. This inner conflict is universal. It is a defining part of the human experience. Yet it is not a sign of failure, but of growth. To wrestle with ourselves is to engage in the process of becoming, to acknowledge that we are not yet finished, but are constantly being shaped and refined. One of the greatest challenges in this battle is recognizing and confronting our own weaknesses. It is far easier to focus on external problems or to blame others for our difficulties than to look inward and take responsibility for our own shortcomings. Yet true transformation begins with self-awareness. To grow, we must be willing to face the parts of ourselves that we would rather ignore, the fears, insecurities, and habits that keep us from living fully and authentically. This requires humility, courage, and a willingness to be vulnerable. It is in this vulnerability that the divine meets us, not with condemnation, but with love and encouragement, urging us to keep going. Fear often plays a central role in the battle of self. Fear of failure, fear of rejection, fear of the unknown, these forces can paralyze us, keeping us from stepping into the fullness of who we are meant to be. But fear is not the enemy, it is a signal, a reminder that we are stepping into something significant. The divine presence within us provides the courage to face these fears, to confront them head-on, and to move forward despite them. It reminds us that we are not defined by our fears, but by our ability to rise above them. Another key aspect of the battle of self is the struggle with identity. We live in a world that often tells us we must prove our worth through achievements, appearances, or the approval of others. Yet our true identity is not something we earn, it is something we are given. We are beloved, valued, and created with purpose, not because of what we do, but because of who we are. The battle of self often involves peeling away the layers of false identities we have adopted and returning to the truth of our divine worth. This is not an easy process, but it is a liberating one. The battle of self is also a battle for alignment. It is about aligning our actions with our values, our thoughts with our truths, and our lives with our purpose. This requires discipline and intentionality. It is not enough to want to grow or change, we must take deliberate steps to do so. This might involve developing new habits, letting go of toxic patterns, or seeking support from others. The divine presence equips us with the strength and wisdom to make these changes, guiding us as we navigate the complexities of self-improvement. Victory in the battle of self does not mean we become perfect or that the struggle ends. Rather, it means we learn to navigate the tension with grace, continually growing and evolving. It means we come to understand that our worth is not tied to our performance, but to our identity as children of the divine. It means we learn to see our struggles not as failures, but as opportunities for growth, as moments where the divine works within us to shape us into who we are meant to be. Ultimately, the battle of self is a journey toward wholeness. It is about becoming fully alive, fully ourselves, and fully aligned with the divine presence that empowers us. This battle is not one we fight alone. The mighty warrior is with us, strengthening us in our moments of weakness, guiding us when we feel lost, and reminding us that we are never abandoned. The battle of self is not easy, but it is worth it. It is in this battle that we discover our true selves, our deepest purpose, and the limitless power of the divine working within us. Silence is often misunderstood as weakness or passivity, yet it holds profound power when wielded with intention. In a world where noise dominates and words are often used carelessly, silence can be a weapon of clarity, strength, and transformation. It is not the absence of action, but a deliberate choice to create space for reflection, understanding, and connection. Silence has the power to disarm, to heal, and to reveal truths that words cannot express. It is a force that transcends the clamor of the world and allows us to engage with life from a place of depth and presence. Silence provides clarity. In the midst of conflict or chaos, speaking impulsively can escalate tension, obscure the truth, and deepen misunderstanding. Choosing silence in these moments is not about retreating or conceding, but about creating space for thoughtfulness and perspective. It allows us to step back, observe, and listen not just to others, but also to the quiet voice within ourselves. In this space, we find the wisdom to respond rather than react, to speak only when our words can bring clarity and resolution rather than confusion and harm. Silence also has the power to disarm. In situations of conflict or confrontation, silence can be a powerful response. It disrupts patterns of escalation, diffuses aggression, and forces others to confront their own words and actions. When we refuse to engage in unnecessary argument or defensiveness, we shift the dynamic, taking away the fuel that feeds hostility. Silence becomes a way to assert strength without aggression, to hold our ground without compromising our dignity. In relationships, silence can foster deeper understanding. Words, though valuable, often fail to capture the full range of emotions or experiences we wish to convey. In silence, we create a space for connection that goes beyond language. Thanks for watching.